Hi, it's KCCK's Culture Crawl. I'm Dennis Green, and my guest today is from the National Czech and Slovak Museum. Cecilia Rakusek has been with the museum. Oh, gosh, you've been leading the museum for a few years now, all of a sudden.
6 years now.
Six?
6 years.
Oh, my gosh. You're now an Iowan.
I guess so. I am. I go to the football game, so I'm definitely an Iowa.
There you go. So fall is always a big season at the National Czech and Slovak Museum and Library, but this is exceptionally big. So big, in fact, we're going to spread this across a couple of Culture Crawl interviews. And today we're going to talk about Brewnost.
Absolutely. And Brewnost this year is very, very special because we're celebrating, as you know, the 50th anniversary of the museum. And so we wanted to make it extra special this year. And thanks to the cooperation of our colleagues in the Czech Republic, we're bringing down an 18-piece brass band called the Dolnemcanka. And they will be playing all evening for the Brewnost. So come early, and it's a real treat because they are from Moravia. As you know, Moravia is being hit now by floods, but they are already on their way to the United States. So we're so excited that they're coming. And this will be our over 20th anniversary again for the Brewnost. It was started by a group of volunteers, and we are just thrilled to have it.
Because when we think of certain countries in Europe, including Germany and the Czech Republic and Slovakia, we think of, that's where the really good beer is. In fact, for those who might have Budweiser.
As Budvar from the Czech Republic.
That's right.
And an interesting factoid is the highest per capita consumption of beer in the world per capita is the Czech Republic. The average Czech citizen drinks over 140 liters per year.
Wow.
So with Czech capital. And this Brewnost is unique, Dennis, in that we combine different types of international beers and local beers, a lot of local beers, with food pairings. And because it's our 50th anniversary, this year we're focusing on foods of the world. So we're going to have a Czech and Slovak food booth, a Ukrainian food booth, a Thai food booth, different German, different ethnic Italian, different cuisines to celebrate the clock tower, the immigration clock tower as well, but also to celebrate immigration at our Brewnost.
Where do you source the different beers from then?
Really from a variety of vendors throughout the region, and then we work very closely with Doug Albernosky at John's in Iowa City. He's been with us for many, many years, and John's a great supporter of ours. And so we also use a lot of local breweries and local providers.
Because that's come... We have so many local breweries and local brews that are coming up, and in Cedar Rapids, at least, many of our local breweries are, they're inspired and take their new beers that they bring out from Czech styles.
Absolutely. You know what's interesting? We get so many visitors at the museum and library from the Czech Republic and Slovakia, and they're all amazed at how this region of Iowa has so many good beers. They all comment like, "Wow, the beer here is really good," and they go to all the local breweries, and it's really a plus for us in this area.
Well, I would say when a Czech person tells you have good beer, you probably do.
We do. And I think we have so many varieties. They go to a lot of these local breweries and go, what do I pick? Which one do I pick? Because there's so many. So it is a real tribute to our regional providers.
Tell me a little bit more about the brass band.
Well, the brass band is 18 pieces, and it's from this little town in Moravia, Dolnemcanka, and they call themselves the community brass band. They've been here before, and they're on a tour of the U.S. They'll be playing the next day in Chicago at the Moravian Festival. And so they're on a tour of the Midwest, and they're all working people who have other jobs, but they have as a passion this wonderful brass band.
We think of, when we think of the music of the Czech Republic and Slovakia, Moravia, of course, we think polkas. Right. But I'm betting there's a lot more to it than that.
Oh, there is. And there's there's that certain from Moravia. They're from Moravia, which is, part of the Czech Republic, the central part. And there's a certain style of music, and they're bringing singers with them, so they'll be singing. And it's polkas, it's waltzes, it's a variety of some schottisches even in there. So it's a variety of music that they'll be playing, but it's not just polkas.
Now, the museum is not open during Brewnost. You can't tour. You can't tour the exhibits or anything.
That's a great question. We're going to close at noon. So, but then we'll be open on Saturday. So the Brewnost is this Friday. So you can get your tickets online. And we also have a way to get tickets for our trip to the Czech Republic. We have an all-expense paid trip to the Czech Republic for 1 week in Prague. And so that's one of the raffle prizes that the raffle prize that we always have. And they can stay at the wonderful Rod Hotel, which is located right in the center of Prague, so they can see everything. And yes, so they can come before noon and to the museum, or all day Saturday from our usual hours, 9:30 to 4.
You've been to the Czech Republic many, many times. And of course, this is not a travel log show. But what's the one thing when somebody says, Cecilia, I'm going to Prague. What should I see?
That is so funny, because last night at midnight, I got an email from Cleveland, Ohio, from a family that said, we're going, what should we see? So the first thing I said, they have to see St. Wenceslas Square, which is right in the center of the town, and the National Museum, which is right in back of it. They need to walk Charles Bridge. We have our Bridge of Lions here, but the Charles Bridge is the one we really patterned it after, and that's where you see all these beautiful monuments and historic tributes to the great leaders and founders of that region. So they have to walk Charles Bridge. They have to go to the Jewish cemetery and synagogue. Unbelievable, very historic, and really a sight to see. They also need to probably go to Old Town, which is very near to the Jewish cemetery and synagogue. They definitely need to, if they have a chance, go to Český Krumlov, and that is the most visited Czech castle, and that's a bus tour away from Prague. And then, of course, they need to see the Hradčany, and that is the castle in Prague, and the wonderful church that's there as well. So we could easily spend 1 week there and not see but just a glimpse. And if they get a chance, I recommend everyone to go to the National Theater to see an opera, because the opera there is state supported. It's fantastic, and we've had many of the opera stars from there sing at the museum. And every time I go to Prague, I always try to see last one I saw was Carmen, and it was magnificent.
Oh, yeah. Well, I've learned one thing in this interview. I've been pronouncing it Brewnost my whole life, and you say Brewnost.
Well, yes, I guess it could go either way. I say Brewnost, but I guess it could go either way. Either way is fine.
Well, thank you for making me feel like I haven't been doing it wrong.
No, Brewnost is good
years.
too. Brewnost, it's okay. Either one is fine. It might just be the way. You asked me how long I've been here. My first day on the job was at Brewnost in 2018.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So this is kind of a big event for me to.
Yeah, it means every year it comes around. It means
Right.
you've come full circle.
And we open always the auction part of it, because we have some big auction items to auction that night, by giving a toast in all of the languages that surround the Czech and Slovak Republic. So we go
neat.
Polish, Hungarian, Austrian, and German. And so we want everybody to cheer with their beers.
Now, you're going to come back next week and talk in more detail about this, but it's not too early to be thinking about not only coming to Brewnost this Friday at the Czech Museum, but also next week for the presidents and the dedication of the Horloge.
Absolutely.
This is going to be huge.
It's historic. We're calling it the reprise of the presidents, because in 1995, the 3 presidents came.
I remember.
Yes, and we have 2 confirmed, the Czech and Slovak. Unfortunately, President Clinton cannot be with us, but he is working on a message and both the Czech and Slovak presidents are coming on the 27th for this big dedication. And mark your calendars, the gates to the venue, which will be right in front of the clock tower, will open at 9:30.
I had a chance last week to stop by and see the face of the Horloge in your covered parking.
Yes.
And I chatted for just a minute with the technician who is doing the programming and stuff on it. And it is, it was stunning to be able to stand right in front of it.
Oh, yeah.
But it's going to be equally stunning when it's up on the clock tower.
Well, you were very lucky to get up and close, because that was probably one of the few times, because then it went the next day into the tower. And so we're so excited about it, because like I said, it will be the only one in North America like it, Orloy, and one of only 8 in the world.
Wow. And dedicated, and we'll talk more about that next week, because
Yes.
there's a whole big story behind that, which I'm looking forward to hearing again from you. But in the meantime, you can still get tickets
Absolutely.
to Brewnost.
Go online, ncsml.org, and look Brewnost and order your tickets. And there are 2. There's a VIP level of a ticket, and that starts at 5:30. And then for those that aren't VIP, they can come at 6:30.
Okay. All right. Well, it's always one of the biggest events of the fall. This is certainly going to be even bigger this year with all the other things going on, and your 50th and the Orlaz dedication and everything coming up. Congratulations.
Oh, well, it's been a great team effort. The community's been so behind us. And I think the Brewnost, it's a way for us to celebrate fall. It's a way to celebrate all the accomplishments of everyone in the community. And it's interesting. We do get a lot of people from out of town, which is always good for tourism. We like to brag about Cedar Rapids and the wonderful cultural center. Dennis, I don't think I've ever shared this with you. In 1914, there was an article in the Gazette that said Cedar Rapids is the Athens of America for Bohemians. It has culture, it has a library, it has literary groups. It's better than Cleveland, New York, or Chicago. Need I say more?
Okay, well, I think we agree. Cecilia, thanks for being here, and looking forward to talking more next week about the president's visit.
Well, thanks, Dennis. We'll see you at the Brewnost, and we look forward to welcoming you there.
You can hear the Culture Crawl live on the radio most weekdays at 10:30, on demand at kcck.org/culture, or subscribe using your favorite podcast player. Watch our videos on the KCCK Facebook and YouTube channels. Our producer is Lydia Kilgore. The Culture Crawl theme is composed by Vivian Shanley. I'm Dennis Green, and I'll talk to you later.